I've been getting a lot of requests on how I get my FPS this high on Warzone, while my game still looks insanely beautiful. Okay, so the first thing you want to do once your Call of Duty is open is go to your settings tab. And then go to graphics. Once you're in your graphics, you'll see the display tab. So on the display tab, I'm going to be giving you some cool settings. It's going to be best for your computer, basically giving you the best possible FPS with lowest input lag on your hardware. On display mode, you want to select full screen exclusive mode. This will give you the least amount of input lag from your controller or keyboard and mouse that you're using to your screen, or basically to your display. We've also found that running your game on a full screen exclusive actually gives you a higher FPS or more consistent average of FPS. If you are running with two graphics cards on your computer, which is very rare for people right now, but make sure that you have your actual right graphics card selected. On screen refresh rate, what you want to do is you want to select the highest refresh rate that your screen is offering, which is 144 Hz for me. Make sure that you select your screen's actual resolution. Mine is 1080p, so mine will be 1920 by 1080. If you scroll a bit down, you'll find echo mode presets. You want to set it to custom. What this will do is it will make sure your computer is not running on some power mode, saving power mode, which will limit your performance of your computer or laptop. Your VSync, both VSyncs I put off. You don't want to use it. It causes input lag on your game. Custom frame rate. If you just want to go all out, just put it on unlimited. It basically just gives you the highest FPS you can go with. Otherwise, I like to put it on custom and limiting it to only 300, as I want to limit my computer in the main menu to 60. This is so that I don't have an issue where my computer is running at insane performance while it doesn't need to, meaning it will stay cool and get ready for when I jump into the game. Okay, let's head over to the quality tab. Quality tab, what you want to do is your render resolution. If you want to set it to 100%, meaning it's going to run full resolution of your screen and game will basically look nice, crisp, you want to set it to 100%. If you're having not enough FPS after all the settings we've changed, try turning it down to 90. This will give you a little bit of an FPS boost and it won't look that much different from having it on to 100%. With upscale sharpening, I like playing with fidelity cast. It just gives this game this kind of a sharp feel. I put it all the way up to 100. If you've been watching my YouTube, you know how my game looks. I love it to look sharp and crisp so that I can see basically every little pixel moving. But if this is not what you want, and you want a little bit more FPS, because fidelity cast does make you tank a little bit in your FPS, like you lose about like 10 FPS. But if you want to get way more FPS, what you got to do is you can go to AMD FSR 3.0. It does give you a little bit a lot of, like, it will literally double your FPS. But the thing about this is it will make your game look a little bit smudged. So just make sure. Same with the NVIDIA DLSS. So basically both these two does exactly the same thing. It will, instead of using your graphics card for frames, it will use your CPU for frames. Basically your CPU will run a little bit harder. But if you don't have a very good CPU, these two settings won't benefit you a lot. Then you'd rather just turn the setting off and play the game with the default. Path tracing, you basically just want to turn off. VRAM scale target. So how this works is if you're currently having any stuttering issues in your game, try to switch this all the way down to 60. This will basically limit the amount of VRAM your PC is using on your graphics card. So Call of Duty actually has an issue where if basically it uses too much of your performance and your VRAM starts leaking performance, therefore that's called like it's starting to use more than what it's supposed to. So let's say you have a 10 gig graphics card, it actually starts using way more than it should, causing you to meet the limit of your graphics card, causing you to have stutters because your graphics card can't keep up. So they call it memory leaking. So now what you got to do is if you set it to 60, you will actually see that your game will be running more smoother. The VRAM scale target actually does not give you more FPS. It's more the stuff of stability of where you limit your VRAM, and make sure that your graphics card actually stays within that limit. You can see down here of the target that you set for your graphics card or your VRAM. But other than that, if you don't have any stuttering issues, you can leave it up to 90. The variable rate shading, turn this on. This will give you a huge FPS boost. So currently the settings that I will be showing you guys now will give you the best visuals of the game as well as giving you good performance. However, if you just want pure FPS and pure just better performance, just literally turn all of these settings off. Otherwise, follow currently what my settings is if you just want performance, a balance of performance and good visuals. Okay, so texture resolution, you're gonna go normal. Texture filter and anisotropy, you want to go high. Depth of field, you want off. This is huge impact on your FPS, so you want this off. Detail quality level low. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts, if you really like seeing bullets on doors, like bullet holes and stuff on doors, you can turn this off. There's a very minimal impact on your FPS, so you can turn it on if you want to. Persistent effects off. Shader quality, turn this off. This will tank your FPS. On demand text streaming, you want to turn off. The reason why you want to turn this off is actually uses your internet to render the textures in on the game. So if you have slow internet, this will actually be causing you packet loss in game or high latencies in game as your game is busy downloading textures while you're playing the game. Local text streaming quality low. Shader quality normal. Screen space shadows off. Ambient collision off. There's also insane impact on your frames. Just turn it off. Screen space reflections off. You will never look at the reflections. Static reflection quality low. Tessellation off. Volume quality, volumetric quality low. Physics quality off. Water grids low. And water quality low. Basically, you're not gonna need any of this. I mean, who really plays in the water in this game? So if you guys want to go over now to the view tab, I'm going to show you some cool little hidden secrets where you can actually get lower recoil on the view tab. Let's go over to it. So field of view, you want to set to whatever's your preference. I like to play on 120, but the higher you go with the field of view, the lower your recoil actually will feel like. Your ADS field of view, you want to turn this to affected. This will change, keep the field of view the same when you aim or don't aim. Weapon field of view, you want to use narrow or default. If you use wide, you kind of lose a little bit of aim assist, so stick between the two. The one just makes the gun a bit narrower and the other one just keeps it default. Then world motion blur, if you are a weird person, you will play with this on, otherwise turn this off. Weapon motion blur off. Film grain off. Then the first person camera movement, this is where the recoil comes in. This basically means how your camera shakes whenever you move. You want to turn this to least. I know a lot of people by default is on high, so this means you kind of go like this when you walk. Turn it to least, it will be the best for your gameplay. Okay. Then I have a little bit of a secret setting. If you want your game looking like this or looking like this, the colors being insane. Check this out. You want to head over to interfaces and then color customization. So currently the best color to set, you can leave the hard color palette to default unless you want to play and make your minimap look a bit different. Scroll a bit down to color filters. You want to set the color filter to number 2 and you want to set the color filter target to both. So when you do this, it actually brings up the vibrance of your game so much. So all you gotta do is that world color intensity, just crank it up to all the way 100. It will make all those colors pop on your screen, chat. So for now, for a little bit more of an advanced little bit of settings which will increase your performance of your game way more than what it's supposed to. Like, we're gonna go into the Call of Duty config files and we're gonna improve that settings. We're gonna go into our config file and we're gonna make some config changes which Call of Duty has a little bit hidden behind the wall for you. It's completely legal. You can do it within the bounds of what Call of Duty's limitations is. Meaning, you're gonna gain way more FPS going into this file. Let me show you. The first thing you want to do is you want to open your file explorer. In your file explorer, you want to head over to documents, Call of Duty, players. You want to select your options for COD file. There's going to be a few things I'm going to be teaching you what to change, and this will increase your performance a lot. So if you have a Intel CPU, I'm not quite sure how you can put the cores, but if you have a Ryzen, you can follow these steps. So from my understanding of Intel, if you get the amount of cores that you have, you basically just -1 or you keep it at 6. From my understanding, having it on 6 gives you the best overall performance. Doesn't matter how many cores you have. So try the -1, how many cores you have, or just go to 6. Alright, but so let me show you guys how to go check how many cores you have. So first thing you want to do is you can right click at your bottom or Control-Alt-Delete and go to your task manager. Once you're in your task manager, just go to performance. This will bring you with this little tab here. So you want to click on your CPU, and on your CPU it will say at the bottom, you'll see it says the amount of cores you have. So you can see I have 6 cores. So on my render work account, I want to set this to 6. So setting this to 6 gives this for my Ryzen CPU, boost my performance. Literally I gain 50 FPS from just doing this one setting. So just keep that in mind. -1 if you're Intel, or I think stick at 6 or 4, one of those two. Just try it out. You can literally go just +1 and see where you get the best FPS, and basically click that core count, but never go higher than the core count than you have. Or you can see you can't go higher than 16. Alright, so then let me show you there's few more secrets I can show you. So the first settings we're going to change is called corpse limit. You want to limit the amount of corpses, because corpses does actually cause your PC to store and get the performance hit. So I set mine to 1 because I want to see at least one dead dude laying around. But otherwise, set this to 0, you'll get a huge FPS increase from doing this. And then there's also a thing called show blood. So if you don't want to see any blood, this actually can cause you little stutters when blood pops up. So I turn blood completely off in my game, so I've turned to off or false. And then the blood limit set to 0. You want to say true, meaning there's not going to be any more blood. Alright, so there's a setting called texture filter. So if you actually want to go make your textures way more lower than what it's supposed to be, you can actually just copy the texture filter nearest and then paste it in here in this quotation marks. This will actually bring down your graphics a little bit more than what Call of Duty allows you to do in-game, meaning you gain way more FPS. But I like to have my texture filter on this, because I just like how the way the game looks. Remember, the lower you go here, the worse your game will look. However, the more FPS you will gain. So it depends what kind of balance you look for. Alright. So another setting that helps you with a lot of frames is the corpses culling threshold. You want to set this to the lowest value. This will give you no impact on how your game looks, but you'll gain a lot of FPS. You want to set it to the lowest, so you can just copy that and paste it in there. There's a thing called sun shadow cascade. You want to set this to the lowest value you can find. So this is all the values you got. You want to set it to the lowest one over here and just paste it in there, just like that, with the spaces and everything. This will be the best settings you can get and use for your game, and I promise you, you're gonna gain more FPS. If you do, let me know in the comment section down below if you like this video, and comment down below how much of an FPS increase that you get. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more guides like this.